Yo, let's have a look at the recent transfers, what's been going on. Yeah, because I ain't touched on this in a while. Been a little bit distracted with the World Cup stuff. But let's start with this Morgan Rogers transfer now. Chelsea have somehow hijacked the Morgan Rogers transfer to Arsenal. Now, I've seen a lot of reasons as to why. A lot of people put it down to financials, but I'm not so sure. Because for me, that Arsenal already had personal terms agreed with Morgan Rogers. So now it's just club to club which they had to do. And I felt like Arsenal was delaying it because they were waiting for Rogers to return from international duty to then kind of like apply the pressure from the player side so then Arsenal didn't have to meet the demands of Aston Villa, who wanted 100 million plus. Okay. Then Chelsea come in, and it's kind of reported as if Chelsea just gave Aston Villa what they want and that was it. But then you all people forget there's a player's side to things. You have to then you don't just pay the money to the club and that's it. No, you pay the money to the club, and now you have to do your personal side, your player side of things. You got to negotiate with the players wages if he even wants to come, the position he's gonna play. Like, you have to agree that side of things. And so for me, if Rodgers was like, you have to remember Chelsea's coming in with no Champions League football, a new manager, a club that's like from the hierarchy standpoint is in turmoil. You don't know what's gonna happen from today to tomorrow, and he's chose that over Arsenal. Now, when I look at it, the only thing that I could say, because even Chelsea don't pay huge wages. They don't pay huge wages. Even their transfer fees, they might pay big transfer fees, but then they offer huge contracts. So that 170 million, let's just round out to 120. They've give Rodgers a 6-year plus one deal. So even if we just take it on a 6-year deal, that equates to like 20 million a year. On the books, it's gonna go down as 20 million a year. How that money gets paid off. So, and then in there with the players' contract, Chelsea don't pay big wages. They don't. They do a lot of incentive based wages. I think United have actually kind of following their standpoint on that. So when we look at it, I think it's more of a footballing aspect as to why Morgan Rogers chose Chelsea over Arsenal. I think he's looked at Eze's career, his decline, his lack of creativity, can't be off the cuff, he can't be himself at Arsenal. You have to be a system player under Arteta. And I think Rodgers has looked at that and thought, I don't know about that. Even positionally, I think he's looked at the way Alonso plays, or Alonso has given him the script and he's read that script and thought, yeah, I'd rather play that role in that movie than play the role in the movie which Arteta has given me. I think it's simply down to that. And that's why, as well as much as Arsenal fans say, oh, the style of play didn't bother me last year as long as we get it over the line. Well, this is when it kind of comes into effect. When two teams are chasing a player, that player is going to look at how that team plays. Does that team will that team bring out the best of me on the pitch? Do you know what I mean? And especially when a player that plays a similar position to you has gone to that team the year before and kind of declined. Players are going to look at that. So yeah, moving on. I want to talk to you lot about the midfield signings in the Premiership. And let's compare it to Man United's midfield signings, because obviously we all know about Mateus Fernandes and Tonali going to Tottenham. Now, obviously, Man United have got Tielemans and Andre Santos. Now, I'm going to put one more midfield partnership in there, which is Manzambi and João Gomez, who have gone to Villa. I don't think Manzambi's signed yet, but he's basically all done, just doing a medical, I think, on Thursday. João Gomez, yeah, all agreed. I'm not sure if he's done his medical or not either, but And listen, I'm gonna say it, and I think every video I've said this. Please, I will be so happy if we went and hijacked Aston Villa's hijack of Manzambi from Newcastle. I would love United to hijack that move. I don't understand why Manzambi is not becoming a Man United player. Instead, he's going to Villa. And this is what I'm saying. If Villa get Manzambi and João Gomez, is that a better midfield two than Tielemans and Santos? Because I'd argue it is. So let me know in the comments how you feel. Mateus Fernandes and Tonali, I don't even think I need you lot to let me know in the comments if you think that's a better midfield two than Tielemans and Santos, because I think we all know the answer to that. But Manzambi and João Gomez, for me, that's a better midfield two than Tielemans and Santos. If I had the choice of taking Manzambi and João Gomez at United over Tielemans and Santos, you're damn right. You're damn right. Manzambi with the legs, box to box. Gomez with that bite, with that footballing ability, with that João Gomez almost reminds me of like one of them Argentinian players. Like, he's fighting to the death, but he's got footballing ability as well. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, man, about those midfield partnerships. Last but not least, let's look at the third midfielder that United are saying they're trying to get. So I've got a list here of midfielders that have been linked to United recently or almost recently. So obviously the obvious ones, Manu Kone, Scott. Then I put Bergvall in there as well. BALEBA, Buwadi, Mamadou Sangare, Sander Berge, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Zaire Emery, Stiller, Goretzka, and Enzo. Yes, Enzo Fernandez. Now, straight away, yeah, let me know in the comments if, like, who you would take as your third midfielder. But straight away, I'm just going to delete a couple that I just don't feel should even get a look in. And the first one I'm going to delete is Sander Berge. So Sander Berge is off my list. That leaves, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I've got 11 left, yeah? Sander Berge is gone. For me, Stiller, I would have chose Stiller. I wanted Stiller. Like, my midfield overall, my three in midfield that I wanted was originally Stiller, Manzambi, and then who was my third? And then and Tchouaméni. But obviously this is the beginning of the window. I wanted Tchouaméni, because that would have been my defensive rock in midfield. Stiller, who would have been my playmaker, like my deep line playmaker, like how Tielemans would be now. And then Manzambi would be my box-to-box goal threat, box-to-box goal threat. So that would have been my three. But now that we got Tielemans, I think I can delete Stiller from the list because they do a similar role. So now that leaves us with Manu Kone, Scott, Bergvall, BALEBA, Buwadi, Mamadou Sangare, MLS, Emery, Goretzka, and Enzo. Now I'm going to delete Bergvall only because we were linked with Bergvall before he came to the training ground, everything, before he went to Tottenham, and he chose Tottenham. So listen, if you're choosing anyone that chooses Tottenham over United, even if Mateus Fernandes became available in a couple of years, I would not choose him. I would not go for him because you've gone to Tottenham over United. That, to me, that just shows your mentality is not. I don't know where your head's at. I don't know where your head's at. So yeah, Bergvall's off the list. Next off the list, I would say there's two I'm going to take off the list. Now, Buwadi, I'm going to take him off the list. For me, he's probably the best 6 on that list. He's the best number 6 on that list. However, Carrick doesn't play with an out-and-out, or he doesn't seem to want to play with an out-and-out number 6. it seems that Carrick wants to play with like two number eights in the double pivot, but he obviously wants one number. He wants two, because as number eights, there's different types. There's like your Tielemans, your Stillers. They're like your deep line playmakers. Then you've got your Santoses, your Andre Santos, your Kobe Mano. They're like your press resistant ball players. Then you've got your box to box number eights like your Alex Scotts, your Goretzka, your Enzo. You got those box to box players. Then you got like more defensive box to box players like Mamadou Sangare, Manu Kone. Do you know what I mean? So there's different number eights, but I don't feel out and out number six is what Carrick wants. Now, Carlos Baleba, I feel like he can learn to be more box to box, but I feel right now his attributes suit more of an out and out six. So I feel like he's off the list as well. So remaining right now, I've got Manu Kone, Scott, Mamadou Sangare, MLS, Zaire Emery, Goretzka, and Enzo. See, now it does get tricky. So I would say, quality-wise, I think Enzo is the best player on this list. However, the price that Chelsea would demand to get him out, although having said that, with them spending almost 120 on Morgan Rogers, see, Enzo depends on the price. I need to check the link that I saw with United and Enzo, because I don't think there was a price there. Because for me, it depends on the price with Enzo. 120 million. Nah, listen. That money there, no way. No way. So I think it's fair to say Enzo has to come off the list. So Enzo's off the list. We got Manu Kone, Alex Scott, Mamadou Sangare, and Zaire Emery. Now, Zaire Emery, there's £50 million links. Basically 60 million euros, which works out to like 51 million pounds. Mamadou Sangare plays in the French league for Lens. Left-footed is like a better version of BALEBA, basically. A little bit more to his game. A little bit more to his game than BALEBA. He's going for 40 million. Alex Scott, they want 80, but we all know, do you know what I mean? With him refusing to sign a contract, can definitely get them down from the 80. And Kone, it was what was it, 50 million euros before the World Cup, and now they're asking for 60 million euros. So, with that being said, yeah, see, Scott, the price for Scott is throwing me off a little bit. So I don't think Man United want to be paying big bucks right now. But the only reason why I feel like the links are heavy with Scott is because now that he's refused to sign a contract, I feel like Man United feel like they can negotiate that 80 down to maybe a 60 rising to 70 with add-ons or whatnot. And the links, he's got the family links with his sister, Maya Letitia, who captains the women's team. So I feel like we can't take Scott off the list. Goretzka on a free transfer, I think I'm going to take him off. Only because of his injury record. I have got no time for injury-prone players at United anymore. Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, De Ligt, Martinez. Who else is injury-prone? There's a couple others that, listen, I've got no time for them. No time for them. Availability is key. We're in every competition this year. Champions League, listen, we're playing a lot of football. Yeah, availability is key. So, just to update you, the list right now, yeah, we're down to 5. We've gone from 11 to 5, guys. Manu Kone, Scott, Mamadou Sangare, Zaire Emery, and then MLS. Like I said, MLS is slightly to the side because for me, I feel like we can get one of those midfielders and MLS because MLS could be bought from the budget for a left back. So, See, I'm split. I'm split. You guys gotta let me know in the comments who you would take. I told you my reasons for them being on the list. So Manu Kone is the most. He's the more defensive number 8. Defensively, he's the most sound on this list. Defensively, tidy with the ball as well. Can get forward as well. Obviously, got the engine box to box. Can nick a goal. Can nick an assist. His injury record isn't great though. That's the main kind of downfall for Manu Kone. Obviously, Scott knows the league. Brilliant. His availability is brilliant. He knows the league is English, engine, technically sound, can nick a goal, can nick an assist. So yeah, that's why Scott's on the list. Then we got Mamadou Sangare. Like I said, he's like an upgraded version of BALEBA. More technically sound than BALEBA. A little more better at going forward than BALEBA. However, he's like a hybrid. Because he's like a little bit of a deep, he can do the deep line playmaker stuff. He can do the Manu Kone stuff, like defensively. But then he can also do the box to box like Scott. So he's got a little bit of everything, Mamadou Sangare. Then we got Zaire Emery. Zaire Emery is a box to box, quick, covers the ground well, presses well, also press resistant. Zaire Emery though, he is very similar to Kobe. Very similar to Kobe. He ain't got much goals in him. Like, he ain't got much. Yeah, he's that press resistant. Yeah, I've just took Zaire Emery off the list, guys. So now we're left with 3. We are left with 3 plus MLS. Because for me, MLS can be, we can use that left back budget. So now this is what I need you lot to do for me in the comments. Manu Kone, Alex Scott, or Mamadou Sangare. Please do your homework on Mamadou Sangare. He's left-footed, yeah. He's like 5'11", athletic, quick, good engine, good availability, technically brilliant. Like, yeah, left foot. You know that left foot technique. He's got that defensively sound, defensively in duels. He's like a Manu Kone, yeah. Going forward, he's like a deep line playmaker, can spray, got a good range of passing, decent strike on him, can score from range. Yeah, so good in the duels. So yeah, that's the 3 for me. And then Marzio Skelly, if we can get him as a left back, then we've got extra cover in midfield as well. But I even feel like if we don't go for Scott, we could probably get Manu Kone and Sangare for almost the same money as Scott. Because Scott, if they want 80 million, Sangare we can get for 40. Kone if we get for 50, that's 90 million. So yeah, there's options there, guys. That's why, you know, we don't need to panic when teams are overspending for players like Tottenham. The ones that I feel regret about is what Villa got, because Villa are also getting good deals. 40 million for João Gomez and 50 million for Manzambi. Like, those are brilliant deals. So they're the ones that I worry about, that upsets me. Yeah, the Sandro Tonali, Mateus Fernandes, you're choosing Tottenham over United. You shouldn't be at this club anyway. So yeah, those are the 3, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Love.